What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with an unboxing video. I did receive back from Action Figure Authority, AFA, some loose graded figures that I had recased. And you guys all know the story by now that AFA has stopped grading loose graded Star Wars figures or anything loose right now. And I sent these in for those keeping track, or for those of you that do have items there. These were sent in September. I think late September is when they were checked into AFA for the queue, and they returned to me at the end of March. So that puts it at about 6 months turnaround time to have 5 vintage Star Wars figures loose graded and recased. I wanted to get some updated cases for a few gems in my collection. Now, here are some loose graded R5s that were already in my collection. We've got a UKG 80% 1977 date stamp R5D4. So that's the no COO version that would appear on like Palatoy or Trilogo cards. We've got a CAS 80 Plus 1977. This is the Hong Kong. So I got the no COO and the Hong Kong. Of course, we've got the very tough to find Red Bar R5 D4. That one is graded CAS 80 Plus. And then I also have another 1977 80 plus grade R5 D4. This is again a Hong Kong. So I've got two 80 pluses, one CAS, one AFA for 1977, the Red Bar. And before I dig in any further, I wanted to show you one other one that I did pick up fairly recently from Rogue 5 Toys on Facebook. This is an ESB-C baggie for R5D4. So I thought, since I had R5 on the mind, I would at least show you this one. I picked this up about a month and a half ago. It's graded AFA 80 plus, and this is the ESB-C. Interestingly enough, this is the same baggie that came in the Japanese Poppy. And we all talked about that in the last Hakes auction, all those amazing Poppies. You guys obviously just saw my Death Star droid Poppy that I was able to pick up at Hakes. I really wanted the R5D4, but as I already mentioned during the market update or the auction results updates, I already had the actual baggie. I just didn't have the Poppy paperwork and the box to go with it. So this one will have to suffice because that one went too high for me. I just could not justify that price. But here is the one I did get back from AFA. They did not do a great job on this one, unfortunately. So this is an AFA 85 Hong Kong, but as you can see, they kind of didn't do a great job with encasing the figure, so this leg kind of splays out a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but the biggest problem is because these bars on the back that hold the figure forward are just too long, and so they kind of dig in to the bottom of the legs, the plastic molding, and so as a result, that leg kind of sticks out a little weird. And I've seen R2D2s and R5D4s that have this problem. So it's a note to AFA that they just make this side bar that they put on the backs of the figures, it's just too long. They need to cut it off about right here. Maybe cut off about, I'd say about a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch, and that problem would go away. But unfortunately, that is the case with this one. It just was not encased properly. I haven't tried to shake it or anything like that yet. Maybe I can get it to look a little better, but not very happy with that one. But what are you going to do? It is what it is. AFA is going to AFA sometimes. That's just what happens. So that's the R5D4 I did get back recased, although I'm not particularly happy with it. I did want to show you a few others that I got back. I got 5 total, and the next one is related to my Boba Fetts. And I've got these 3 that were already in my collection. This is a Taiwan Boba Fett graded AFA 85 plus, very high grade. But the problem is that this weapon is not the correct version 5 Imperial Blaster, I believe it's what it's called. And that happened with a lot of these early AFA cases. They didn't quite match the weapons up. And I know that Chris over at Rogue 5 Toys tried to send in his Taiwan Fett to be recased, and it was refused. They just returned it in the same case. So I didn't bother sending this one in because I'm almost positive that this is the wrong blaster for this Taiwan Fett. So it's going to have to stay the way it is, unfortunately. But that one's graded 85 plus, very nice high grade. This is a Hong Kong. That one is graded 90. And this has got the dark brown belt. More on him in a little while. And then this is another Hong Kong archival case graded AFA 85 plus. So you can see the differences in the belt color on these 2 Hong Kongs. One's kind of the dark brown, one is kind of the light brown color. And so those are the 2 Hong Kongs, and along with a Taiwan that I've got. I didn't send these in, but I did send in these 2. which I'm going to show you. Now, this one is another Hong Kong. But what happened was I had this one in an old style case, and it had an incorrect label on it. The old label said Taiwan, even though I knew after looking at, I had a couple of subscribers say, you might want to take a look at that Boba Fett, because I'm pretty sure that one's a Hong Kong, it's not a Taiwan, and they were right. So I had this one recased, and I made a note in the special instructions section that, hey, you guys encased this one wrong, so I would like for you to make sure to label this a Hong Kong. And this is an uncirculated 85 Hong Kong, and for all of these, I got archival cases. So I went ahead and upgraded the UV protection to be 99.9% UV protected, and they labeled it correctly this time. So now I've got two light brown Hong Kong Boba Fett's. One's 85 plus, one is uncirculated 85. I did not take this one off of a card. For those of you who are sticklers about uncirculated grading and don't like loose grading figures with the uncirculated designation, I bought it already like that on eBay a long time ago. But they don't take off the uncirculated designation when you get items recased. So just a little fun factoid there. So anyway, I've got two light brown belts, and then I've got the dark brown belt. One other kind of quick point to note is that this one has what I call the lipstick lens. This one it's almost like the whole thing is red. It's got kind of a red overspray to the visor, versus this one, which is kind of much more in keeping with how it's supposed to look. So let's see if we can do like a side-by-side. So I call that one the red lipstick version, or the lipstick lens. And this is a common thing you see for a lot of these Hong Kong Boba Fetts, is that for some of the factory examples, they just had a little bit of overspray relative to the standard Hong Kong. The other Boba Fett I got recased was this one. This is the best one in my collection. This is the Ledy. So I got a Ledy that had the old style case, and I wanted to get it upgraded. And here's the label on that one, if we can get it to focus here. This is Ledy, Boba Fett, no COO on this one, 80 plus grade, archival case. So the grades stay the same for all of the items. This one it looks like the double scar. It's hard to see because of this stupid bar that AFA uses at the bottom of the legs, which I hate, by the way. I wish they would just take those bars away and figure out some other solution. UKG and CAS do it right, because you can see the date stamps and the trademarks and all that good stuff, but for some stupid reason, AFA decides to put these bars that blocks it, and it makes no sense, especially if you have like a first shot prototype with no markings on it. But if you look very, very carefully, you can see there that this appears to be the double scar version of the Ledy. So there's two different scars that you can get on the back of the right leg. One's at the top of the calf and one's at the bottom of the calf. And just looking at it very closely, it looks like this one is the double scar variation, which is harder to find, by the way. And I bought this many moons ago on eBay in an auction, and this is an 80 plus example. Very, very happy with that one. So nice to get that one back in as well. Next up, I've got something related to my Leia Hoths, and this is one I've already got in my collection. This is the Hong Kong with the dark brown hair, graded CAS 85. So that's kind of the standard Leia. But this is one that I've not shown on the channel yet. I picked up this one late last year, probably August or July of last year, from Rogue 5 Toys as well. And this is the red-haired version of Leia. So this is, again, the Hong Kong, and this one is graded 85. It had the old case style. And I was like, let's go ahead and send it in to get the updated case style. So it looks really nice, and you can see the obvious color difference to the hair there. But pretty bright red hair versus the Hong Kong, which is kind of a dark brown hair. So red, and so I now have the Hong Kong Leia Hoths, both the dark brown and the red hair. And of course, I do also have the red-haired Leia on an Empire Strikes Back card graded 85 plus with collector archive services. So that is that. And the final one I did get back from AFA for recasing is related to Han Trenchcoat, Han Endor. And this is, again, another one I don't think I've shown on the channel yet, but this is a baggie for Han Endor. And this one has the camo lapel. And it also has a very, very pale face. And here's the label on this one. This one's graded AFA 80. Camo lapel, pale face, Han Solo, and trench coat. This is the ROTJ J baggie. So very common baggie, not particularly hard to find, but I feel like Han trench coats have really been jumping in price lately. So I picked this one up for a very fair deal from Chris over at Rogue 5 Toys. And I also picked up this one. This is the No COO plain lapel. So I've got the camo lapel as well as the plain lapel version of Han Solo in his trench coat. And this one is graded AFA 85. So as you can see there, it says plain lapel, no COO Han Solo trench coat with the archival case, graded 85. And he's got a little bit more of a pink face. It's a subtle difference, but if you look at the pale face version versus this, it's a little bit pinker. There is also a no COO with plain lapel that has the pale face that you see here. That's probably what's inside here. It says made in Hong Kong though, so maybe not. I know that there was a Hong Kong version with the pale face, as well as a no COO with a pale face. But this is not the pale face. This is just the standard kind of peach face. Anyway, more information that you wanted to know, but at least I've got 2 examples of Han trench coat. I do have the 77 back A, graded CAS yellowed 85 as well for Han trench coat, but these are the only loose graded examples I've got. The no COO with the plain lapel, and then the Hong Kong with the pale face and the camo lapel. So anyway, nothing too exciting. Overall, everything turned out fine. It took about 6 months. I actually got these back faster than I expected from AFA. I was expecting them back sometime this summer, but given that AFA is no longer grading loose graded figures right now, they're just working through their backlog, and apparently they're moving pretty quick, because they were saying it was running about a year or even longer, but now they're down to about 6 months for recasing some of your loose figures, in case you have any with AFA right now. That gives you a rough time frame of how long these took. So that's all I really had for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.